So, Lady Apes, Gentlemen Apes, hi, this is ApeAndy. Now, previously I tweeted something from a very, very good ape, very, very wonderful ape. He did the DD on the Federal Reserve, asking all the banks to make a report on all the long and short positions, including all the derivatives. Now, this DD is from a guy with a Twitter handle called Fin Watchdog, and someone sent me that DD and I read it and I sent it to my very good friend Jamie, Trade Spotting, and he sent it off to his uncle who works at the bank, and his uncle, a very experienced banker, looked at the DD and said, "Oh, that is very, very interesting." Now, for an experienced old school banker to say that, ApeAndy and Jamie came to the conclusion that it will make a difference. Federal Reserve asking all the big banks to do a report completely transparent on long and short positions, on including derivatives, puts and calls. Normally you don't have to report derivatives positions, but now Federal Reserve tell the banks you have to report on all your longs and short positions, derivatives positions included. That means all the big banks in the US and the foreign banks who operate in the United States must open their books, long and short positions, puts and calls, derivatives of their clients. You know, these big banks, their clients are not individuals like ApeAndy, they're clients of these big banks, 8 big banks in US. They are the hedge funds. Again, I'm sorry, Archegos, I have to bring you up again as an example. Archegos is the client of Goldman Sachs. Archegos is the client of Morgan Stanley. Archegos is the client, was, past tense. Archegos was the client of Nomura Securities. Archegos was the client of Credit Suisse. And we all know what happened to Archegos. Okay, now, so the Federal Reserve, they're making this rule to tell all the big banks to open up your books, long and short positions, including derivatives, and make it public in this report. So what Jamie of Trade Spotting and his uncle, who told Jamie and ApeAndy discussed over the phone, is that this is like the regulatory bodies doing a very, very high level, high class, smart move. What is it? It is like a game theory. It is like the FBI, okay? They think some people are suspects. So you have suspect A and suspect B. Because, see, these books of the banks, of these hedge funds, their clients, long and short positions, including derivatives, if they're all out in the open in the report, maybe not open to the public like common people, us, but open to the regulatory bodies and to each other, to DTCC, NSCC, FINRA, okay, all these people, then think about it. Hedge fund A knows all the positions of hedge fund B. Hedge fund B knows all the positions of hedge fund C. Hedge fund C knows all the positions of A and B and D and E and F and so forth. There are tons of hedge funds in the United States or who operate in the United States, international hedge funds included. Imagine all the positions, long and short, plus derivatives, are open for each other to see and to know. Then, if the Federal Reserve says to this bank, "Hey bank, your particular client is leveraging too much, over leveraging, picked out. Do something about it. Then the big bank, of course, have to listen to the Federal Reserve and tell the client, and HF, a hedge fund, you're over leveraging. The Federal Reserve tell me, the big bank, to do something about you. You have to deleverage. Okay, and so this hedge fund says, oh, okay, I gotta deleverage. Okay, let me do that. Let me call other hedge funds and do swaps. Let me call other hedge funds and say, can you take my position? Can I sell my position to you? Or can you buy my position? Or do something about my position? Trade, huh? Hedge funds trade with each other. But if they do that, the other hedge funds already know that hedge fund Andy has a very poor position. I shorted GME too much. I shorted AMC too much. Then will these other hedge funds come to the rescue of this hedge fund? When ApeAndy hedge fund call the other hedge funds for help? Please take my short position of GME. I overshorted. I'm in trouble. The clearinghouse, my bank of says I'm over leveraged, shorting GME. Please take my positions. And all the other hedge funds who know your books, because it's out in the open, okay? They don't dare to take it, okay? In other words, there are no more room left for hedge funds to lie to each other and to lie to the public. Oh dear, that's a nightmare. That's why Jamie Tradespotting's uncle, who works at the big bank, says this is very, very interesting. So it's going to make a difference. Okay, now, I mentioned FBI. It's like the FBI taking suspect A and telling suspect A, hey, suspect B is going to say something about you. He's already said something about you. So do you want to turn and be the witness for me and tell me about what suspect B did? Of course, suspect A would be scared and thus turn into a witness for FBI and tell everything about what suspect B did. FBI is going to go to suspect B and says, hey, suspect A is saying many, many things about you. Do you want to turn into a witness and tell me what suspect A did? And the suspect B says, oh my God, I can't talk to suspect A, but we did something together. FBI has got my balls, and so I gotta do something about it. And so yeah, okay, I'll turn into a witness, and then I'll tell the FBI what suspect A did. Now, except in this game theory scenario, this very high class, high end change that the regulatory bodies are doing, the Federal Reserve telling the banks to report on all the positions of their clients, long and short, derivatives is included, is that there are more than suspect A and suspect B. Imagine how many hedge funds, foreign or domestic to the US, are operating in the US stock market. It's going to be a nightmare for the suspects, for the SHF. Why did I use the term suspects? Because previously the hedge funds are hiding their short positions and also from each other, and so making people think that GME is going down by itself. GME had been covering the short positions of these hedge funds, okay? Now there are no more rooms for these hedge funds to lie to each other or to the regulatory bodies or to the common people or to other investors, retail investors, retail or institutional. I'll take it one step further. It's like you're playing poker, okay, and the sheriff of the town in Wild Wild West town comes in and says, all right, everybody, show your cards, okay? Show your cards. I'm the sheriff. Federal Reserve, that's a big old sheriff. Show your cards. Everybody's cards is out on the table, okay? All the four players know what each other hold. So how can you call bluffs? You can't. How can you put down your cards and says, I'm gonna make changes, make trades? Okay. Everything is out in the open. there are so little room left for the SHF to maneuver. Now, I'm going to leave the link of this tweet down below in my comments, first comment, okay? So you could check into the comments, the tweet from this Twitter guy, Ape. His handle is Fin Watchdog, okay? I know, if you look into his tweet, I know he placed hashtag MOAS guaranteed. I think that you should be aware that you don't have to get your hopes up. This is just a scenario where the SHF are very scared of. I would not go to the point of saying MOAS guaranteed. I would go to the point of saying this is very interesting and this is definitely not in the favor of the SHF. Be strong, apes. ApeAndy loves both AMC and Jimmy.